Hello, welcome back to an appointment with your psychiatrist. I am a high milligram SSRI prescription. Let's be honest, it might help. Non-fungible tokens. I am sick to my stomach just hearing those words. The room is spinning, I'm nauseous, I am seasick aboard the Bored Ape yacht. Earlier this year I did a video on NFTs called the NFT Nightmare, which insinuated that this was a temporary fabrication of the scariest parts of my brain that would eventually dissolve. But it's become just crystal clear as of late that I am not waking up from this NFT nightmare anytime soon. I'm proud of that video, I consider it a son to me, but looking back at the art it left on the refrigerator in retrospective, mid. I was super excited to see that crazy art crayon mom and dad illustration 2 months ago, but now that I look at it, it's just kind of circles and lines, and 2-year-olds aren't in galleries for a reason. Not to dunk on 2-year-olds too hard with the 24-inch hoops they're playing on, but I'm breaking ankles all day long on the court with any toddler, any day. I am Steph Curry to the average 18 to 36-month-old. 3-point fadeaways at the local daycare. I'm getting off track. Yeah, I'm really getting lost here. Although I like a lot of the information and what I have to say about NFTs in the original NFT video, I think my vision was obscured by naivety, compulsive empathy, and thousands of images of pictures of lions that look like Hugh Hefner. I was merely a young, dainty, unknowing child at the time, carrying a fistful of balloons and a dress that has one of those, that at the bottom it is the coney thing. I was raised as a man for 19 years, okay? I'm just catching up on the girl lore now. I haven't read the flavor text or the prologues yet. I just found out about the wage gap and misogyny yesterday, so it's a long and storied journey to my place as an educator and public figure, and I deserve to be here. Yeah, so I made that NFT video, it banged, it's currently the second most viewed video on my channel, it was suplexed by that Elon Grimes ditty I put out last week, and I look back on it and I feel that it was, funny, informative, well-intentioned, and also a little too early in the game to see the extent of what NFTs would really become, because we have seen a sort of snowball of all of the effects of NFTs over the last month or so. So I figured it was due time for a bit of a redux, a bit of an NFT update for the people at home, the dear fans who keep me going every day. That's you. You guys getting any of this? Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you subscribe right now, I will turn my computer into a crypto mining rig, and I won't stop until the crypto canary that is perched atop my desk croaks. How are you all doing today? I'm feeling lazy like a lion, bored like an ape, punk like a crypto? I don't know. I haven't been browsing OpenSea in my free time. Forgive me, I've been too busy trying to make sure that the debt collectors don't turn me into a pile of bones. I'm checking OpenSea right now, and the top collection is Adidas Originals into the Metaverse. So, independent graphic designer Adidas, everyone. Give it up. You love to see the little guy take home the big trophy, huh? So basically, the point I posited in my first NFT video is that NFTs are nothing more than glorified stocks that have been hydro-dipped and now bear resemblance to an imaginary monkey. The people who buy, sell, and exchange NFTs could care less about how they look or whether or not they're actually valuable. They're wearable investments. They're status symbols, like whatever Junya denim is. Junya Watanabe denim, I think I'm genuinely starting to lose track of what fashion is because $800 my rancid hog, this is just patchwork on some Levi's. I worked at a Goodwill this summer, and we would get some high-end jeans in, and let me tell you, nothing makes you feel worse than wheeling out a $500 pair of jeans onto the store floor and being floated $16.49 right after. Had me purchasing a rope from the last capitalist, if you know what I mean. I never have had the intention to, or intend to kill any of my bosses. Let's calm down, let's not email this to any former employers, come on guys. There's no water in this cup, I'm just nervous. NFTs are bad, we all know this, we're familiar with how wretched this concept is. The idea that one could actually practically own a JPEG or an MP4 like it was a physical object is laughable, because the best we can do is like approximate ownership. We can make a shitty attempt at offering ownership of this thing, but in reality, it belongs to everybody who has access to the snip tool. Petition to replace the hammer and sickle with little scissors and a camera screenshot icon. Everybody in agreement say aye, and if you say nay, I'm going to screenshot the NFT of your death certificate tomorrow. Let's start off on the most egregious of the infractions, and before you ask, no, one of the monkeys has not become real and shot somebody. That's for season 2 of their animated show. NFT sellers have just been jacking pieces of art by real artists and minting them as NFTs. Who could have seen this coming, right? It's not like corporations and businessmen have been exploiting and stealing from smaller artists since the devil gave Eve that apple for experience and exposure. What an Ari Aster third act subversion. I'm trying to come up with alternatives for M. Night Shyamalan twist, so that was the best one I could come up with right now, my fault. So here's one. Liam Sharp, a professional artist, even had to shut down his DeviantArt because people wouldn't stop stealing and minting his art as NFTs, and he has to go to OpenSea and individually report every single case. Can you imagine that? Just having random crypto bros jack your art to sell for thousands of dollars, an action which you probably diametrically oppose, and then having the responsibility be entirely yours through a system on a website that profits like crazy from the exact thing that you're trying to stop. that's incredibly hopeless. DeviantArt actually has rolled out a system to notify artists of when NFTs are minted on OpenSea. It's decently robust in detection, but it only does that. It notifies artists. It doesn't provide legal help, honestly, nor should it be expected to. I think this is not the fault of the platform DeviantArt that some guy from Tallahassee with a neckbeard and an Oculus Rift wants to rip your art so that he can gentrify the metaverse. If anything, I think it's that guy's fault. Maybe he could sell his Oculus Rift if he needs one. So this is, of course, really demoralizing and bad for artists because they have two options. Either they keep making their art publicly available to be screenshotted, saved, etc., because that's what they enjoy doing. That's how they get their art out there. That's their publicity. Or they run the risk of having all of their art stolen and sold for profit that does not go to them. So if NFTs are making life better for artists, then we are moving into the times tables of doublethink. This also really flips the idea that NFTs are great for artists on its head because, of course, in the end, we are seeing that NFTs are great for businessmen who like exploiting and stealing from artists, and we are seeing that NFTs are great for people who already have massive followings. Now, like, nobody gives a fuck about this Rhode Island of design student trying to mint their thesis project about how their grandmother was white, but not racist. They're just trying to buy the cheese at Air Jordan NFT shoe collab. Just one of those gifs of a 3D model rotating like it's in a microwave. I don't know how people sell those. I don't know. People like celebrities, rappers like Bad Baby, corporations like Adidas, of course are going to make a quick buck minting and selling subpar digital art because they have a reputation that precedes them. So no, NFTs are not a blanket good for artists. They are a blanket good for people who have no trouble monetizing their art and mobilizing their audience to purchase, and also who are not concerned about the environmental or ethical concerns of making an NFT. Don't get me wrong, I have been tracking NFTs for months at this point, and I have seen independent artists make their entire careers off of it. You know, more than they could have seen in a lifetime before NFTs existed, but I've also seen some people whose stuff just doesn't sell, you know? That's the issue of everybody trying to cash in on a boom at once, is that people will gravitate to the few successes rather than the actually compelling art. See Bored Ape Yacht Club. Bored Ape Yacht Club just looks so shitty. It looks like if Adult Swim had a one-off parody gag on one of their cartoon shows about Planet of the Apes that was drawn by a hedge fund manager on the back of a legal pad. That's what Bored Ape Yacht Club looks like, and I despise it. There are successes and failures everywhere in NFTs. You want to look at a really cool success story. Look at Isaac Wright, otherwise known as Drifter Shoots, who was facing a $400,000 bail for trespassing for his urban exploration photography a year ago. He ended up getting a New York Times article published on his struggle and you know, how he was being treated unfairly compared to other white photographers. And now he is making tens of thousands of dollars selling his pieces as NFTs, enough to support the people around him. You want to look at an NFT failure story. You know, there are countless of them. I mean, look at the artists who are helplessly having their art jacked and minted for them while they have to issue individual takedowns as to not see other people profit off of their work. By the way, that DeviantArt system that notifies people when art that might be theirs has been minted on OpenSea, it sent out over 50,000 notifications. Not only that, but the takedown process is, if you are an artist who noticed that your art has been stolen, can be infuriatingly long, sometimes even up to a week. Here's a tweet from an artist who had their work stolen, essentially saying that OpenSea wants the person whose art was stolen to do hours of paperwork in order to be taken as a serious concern. They are the website that is profiting off of the theft, by the way, so to place the onus upon the independent artist whose time is already being stretched by commissions, work, etc., is just ridiculous. It's a very insulting expectation. In addition to this, if the NFT salespeople who are doing this work aren't stealing from DeviantArt, Twitter, or other sites, then they might literally just be randomly generating this art to sell by feeding phrases into artificial intelligence art creators. If you just Google AI NFT, you'll find a lot of examples of these, and I can't find it now, but I literally on Twitter ran across an NFT artist who was minting and selling art that was created using the Dream by Wombo art creator, which is an awesome free tool, and it lets you generate art through keywords and chosen aesthetics, but to sell something created by lines of code that you didn't even write, I think is kind of scummy, especially considering that many other people could literally just go and type in words and get strikingly similar art in full resolution to the ones that you are selling. Now I know what you're thinking. The only thing worse than stealing from someone while they're alive is stealing from them while they're dead. Which brings us to the cyber grave digging. Now, if there's any way to guarantee a haunting from a violent and unpleasant poltergeist, it has to be using their personal Twitter to post NFT listings of their art after they die. That's actually the plot to the next Conjuring. It takes place in the destabilizing haunted mansion of one of the Koch brothers, who's mad because the NFT didn't directly use any child labor. He's wagging his finger in heaven saying, "Hey, this could have been more unethical. Try auctioning off an NFT of you burning down a patch of old growth forest in California." It's I don't know, I wanted to hate on the Koch brothers. Give me a break. What is this bang doing? Wait. Hello? What the This isn't any better. What's happening out there? Is there a spaceship landing? Yeah, so the estates of dead celebrities like Stanley and Kobe Bryant have been minting and selling NFTs using the image and memory of those celebrities as essentially selling force. This makes me personally feel like I've swallowed a AA battery. I mean, this is just linking into the idea of profiting off of someone's death. It's in the same vein as like posthumous records, etc. It just feels disrespectful to use the image of someone who has passed as a resource to gain money, status, relevance, etc. It's scummy. Speaking of which, XXXTentacion's estate dropped a series of his unreleased tracks as NFTs earlier this year, as though dropping every single demo he recorded more than half a second on wasn't enough. Can I just say, with all of the posthumous content dropping from like XXXTentacion and Juice WRLD, you gotta wonder, how the fuck do you even record that much music while you're alive? They had to like get all of it in the will and split verses between songs like wartime rations. Like, oh yeah, you see in this one, Juice did 3 verses on the song. You realize that's 3 songs if we portion it, right? Anywho, yeah, posthumous NFTs, theft, barriers to reporting said theft, it's crime. It is crime, so we went from NFTs are helping people launder money, which is a crime, to the minting of an NFT being theft of intellectual property. How far our NFTs have come, you know, all the way from accomplices to accessories. It's a beautiful journey to watch. Now, the final thing I want to mention is that the Bored Ape Yacht Club has a 24-hour Bored Ape lo-fi hip-hop radio station on its YouTube channel, and when I checked in on it, it had only 1 viewer. I don't know what could be more pathetic than a Bored Ape Yacht Club lo-fi hip-hop radio station having 1 viewer. I think that might have done the equivalent of breaking the sound barrier for pity. Who do you think that one person is? Do you think they're sitting in front of a birthday cake all alone with a kazoo in their mouth? Just like the room lit dimly by candles like 75% of indie album debuts? Well, that's my update on NFTs. In my original video, I managed to find empathy within the tight-knit communities of the NFTs. In this video, I am not quite as empathetic and would like to ask all of those people to stay after class so I can give them a stern talking to about their grade point in the class. Like at the end of the last video, I was like, well, maybe we're all looking for community. And now I'm like, fuck yourself. Look elsewhere. Join a recreational softball team. I know your office has one. Get out of your shell. Do not use NFTs. I hate NFTs. I hate this imagined scarcity that we are creating, and screenshotting is praxis. Get your index finger and thumb ready to rapid fire. We are on the front lines tonight, and the NFT crowd shall not win. Got it? This is our Saving Private Ryan. I've not seen the movie, but what am I gonna say? This is our Hacksaw Ridge. Doesn't really have the same ring to it. Yeah, NFTs should cease to exist, and you should take care of yourselves, take care of others, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others unless they are using bots to steal art from Twitter artists to mint as NFTs. And yeah, remember that you are loved, maybe not by me, but by somebody out in this silly world. As always, it has been a pleasure, and until next time, bye. Somebody closer to me now. There's reason to me, even if you're round. At least somebody needs somebody closer to me now. There's reason to me, there's reason to me. Everybody loves me when I'm closer to the ground. Feeling that you love me even when I'm not around. Shake it, make a sound. That perimeter, always closing this, so try to keep it liminal. I need somebody closer to me now. There's reason to me, even if you're around. At least somebody needs somebody closer to me now. There's reason to me, there's reason to me. I need somebody closer to me now.